Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this reading will be for Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. And as usual, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. And 3 cards for the day and for the spiritual message that we need to help us evolve. Okay, so oops, let me move up here so we have a little more room for the closed captioning. Okay, so for our theme we have the Four of Swords. And you can see by the image on the card that this card is about getting enough rest. It's also a card of meditation. It's a card of being horizontal instead of vertical, which is sometimes my favorite position. So it's the card to, notice the heart is here, to make sure that we get the self-care that we need, to allow ourselves to nest in, to rest in, to get inside of honoring the needs of our body, to honoring our unique inner rhythm, and let that be more than enough, rather than going, well, nobody else takes a nap at 11 a.m., or no one else takes a whole day off, or no one else takes a whole week off, or whatever. Because first of all, as soon as we start comparing ourselves against anyone else, we violate spiritual law. So remember that. And on any level, just remember that. Any time that we are comparing ourselves to anyone else, we need to bring in a new idea with the Ace of Swords. Now, especially that spiritual law about not comparing ourselves against anyone else is very, very true if you're in a position with the Nine of Pentacles reversed where you just don't have the funds that you would like, or maybe some project has been canceled. Maybe there's some need for caution, to make sure that we're not like overspending. It can also be, it's one of those very, very, very sad cards that comes in when someone has, lost something very dear to them. Now we're talking of the material realm, so we're talking about, like a car being repossessed, or having to move from your home because maybe the landlord wants to sell it, or bankruptcy, things like that, mortgage problems. This is one of the most challenging cards. But it's one of those cards that also reminds us, and I think I spoke about this a day or two ago, about being careful, especially with this combo, about overworking. Because this card follows the Eight of Pentacles, right? So here, I'll give you the image of that. And probably, for most of you, it's burned into your brains, but just to make sure. The Eight of Pentacles is work, 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 work. Quality, sometimes quantity over quality, which you have to be very careful about. But, it's someone you can see here, like she loves what she does. And I don't know if she makes candles, maybe she makes lots of beautiful things, but when you love what you do, you can tend to be a little too focused on it, and you need that work play, work rest balance, which is exactly what what's I'm seeing here. So with the Ace of Swords, this card is excellent for when you're resting, to open up to the universe and ask for some new ideas. How can I make my work easier? How can I streamline things down a bit? Maybe even questioning yourself as to why would I think I would need to work that hard? Maybe there's a better way. What false belief do I have spinning in my head that I need to let go of in order to deserve more rest, in order to deserve more sleep, in order to deserve the rest and sleep that my body needs at this point? We have all these questions we can ask ourselves. I love that the Ace of Swords came in here, to support us with this this combo, because I really do feel this has to do with workaholism. Honestly, that's what I'm getting. Sometimes this can be that there's been overspending, and so now we're kind of upside down with our resources. So if that's the case, then you can ask yourself, well, why don't I save more? Or how can I create the life, how can I create the income where I actually can save more and be less, care less? How about care less about all the material things that people can buy all the time? But I really feel that it is more about the workaholic tendencies and it's a part of ego development. When we're in that crash and burn kind of a place, it's where we're pushing our bodies, and it's our ego that is this like brutal taskmaster, and we have to let go of that. We have to figure out where it came from and figure out the false beliefs around it. And, while you're resting, open up to dream time for guidance as well. And then, if you're like me, you'll learn that you ended up losing money by going into the go, 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 which, I used to when I was younger. When you get older, that's one of the great things about getting older. You just can't. You know what I mean? If you don't live your life in balance, you're going to be sick, you're going to be ill, you're going to be broken. So the older you get, the more that becomes apparent, and you learn better self-care. But if you can get that lesson while you're young, then you can circumvent the problems and circumvent the crash and burn. Because that's what happens sometimes, like with if your ego is pushing yourself too hard, of course you will have the crash and burn. Now, if it's on the other spectrum where, because this card can also mean, where you're dependent on someone else, and maybe there's even some, I don't know if this card wouldn't naturally be boredom, but there could be a little too much introspection, a little too much just going inward. And while that's a beautiful way to balance things out and to get our guidance, those of us who are spiritually inclined, a lot of times we overdo that part. And that's one of the things that we have to be careful of. In fact, that's a form of like spiritually bypassing. There's a lot of ways you can do spiritual bypass and not get your lessons. And if you guys don't know what that means, there's so much information online about that, about spiritual bypassing. It is basically where you overlay a spiritual principle on top of something that's underneath, not clear, and it's literally like out of integrity. Like going around and just saying, oh, it's all love and light. Well, yeah, it is in the realm of which we were born. But here on earth, we were born into duality. And we are having to navigate through this dualistic, sphere, this paradigm that we live in. And yeah, we do want to create all these paradigm shifts. And that's the right way to go. But on earth, we can end up forfeiting our incarnational task. We each have a soul task to heal whatever dualistic splits we have within. And you can't do that if you're always meditating, and if you're ignoring taking care of your material existence, such as, having work that supports you, work that helps you meet all your needs, work that helps you live within your means, work that fulfills you and makes you happy. I mean, look at this card when it's straight up. She's so happy because she focuses on what she loves. And if you remember the image in the Eight of Pentacles, it's the same thing. So these cards together bring me into that feeling of just all we have to do is be careful not to overwork, but also be careful not to be dependent upon just our spiritual nature inside to lead us, on our path. Because at some point, you're going to have to just follow your instincts and go for what it is that you want. So write down all those ideas that you get when you're meditating. But you don't need to meditate for 4 hours a day. I tried that. Years ago, I tried that. I remember sitting there for hours just surrendering, asking the universe what it is that I should do. And I finally one day I heard, what is it that you want to do? It's like, let's see you show up. So, that can happen. And you need to, take hold of things like that and really do question what it is that you want. Now, this can be that place where we did find what we wanted and we went too far, and that's why the overwork, kicked in. There's that possibility. So whether it is dependency or creating crash and burn situations, it's an ego development issue. And the challenge with that is to get your ego to step aside and take direction from your higher self. Open up to your higher self, which lives in every cell of your body. It's not just up here. It's every cell of your body, within the nucleus of every cell in your body. So, opening up to the higher self in rest and in meditation, and using the opportunity of, maybe this is a day of rest for many of you this Tuesday, February 9th. And while you're resting, you might as well get the guidance you need. But take good notes, because you're going to get lots of ideas, lots of really good ideas. You want to make sure you write them down. And question what your beliefs are about work and work-life balance. And question if you feel dependent on other people to create what it is that you want. Because, we each have our own unique spirit and soul that has the ability to create and, have all of our needs met as adults. But if we grew up as a little one not having our real needs met, then we're going to have to learn, what the real needs are, and learn how to express ourselves creatively, in order to earn the living that we want. So I just feel like, we're always a work in progress. And like I said in the beginning, never compare yourself with anyone else. But also to honor the fact that, we are people. Who was that guy? Was Dan somebody years ago? It was a guy that he wrote a book because he had a near-death experience. And, I can't remember his last name. Anyway, if you guys know, drop it in the comments. But anyway, his first name was Dan, and he wrote a book, and what he said is to remind everybody what he got when he was, when he crossed over for a while, when he got from the other side, when the veil was lifted. He deeply understood that we are, spiritual beings having a human experience. So to honor our humanity is what is key. To not push ourselves just because our spirit wants to get something done right away, or our guides and guardian angels are cheering us on. Well, yeah, that's true, but they're not in a body. And we're the only ones that can listen to our bodies. And I myself, I'm one of those firm believers that, the Holy Grail is the body. that's the keys to our freedom, is through our bodies. Until we don't need the lessons anymore, then of course, we move on. So I think that's all I have with these cards. I think I've exhausted my well, no, wait, I just thought of something else here. Besides the new ideas that can come in, so besides, writing down new ideas, this is also a card of envisioning what it is that you really want. So again, dropping it into dream time, meditating, envisioning what you want to get you out of this place. Because you can't, there's another spiritual law is where you can't get yourself out of the pickle that you're in. Nobody ever wrote it this way, I'm just saying it. You can't get yourself out of the pickle you're in from the same pickle jar that you're in. You have to break out, right? So here's the breaking out and opening up to an entirely new vision of what you want. And it's also about, being very focused and clear. So this could be that for some of you for this day, you're needing to rest because you're overworked, you're needing to rest, and then the clarity will come. And for some of you, it could be that you've been meditating too much, you need to work more or balance it out, and then the clarity will come as well, and the visioning. And then for others, it could be that you've been working way, way, way too hard, and you need to meditate more to get the guidance as to the right direction to go, because this is taking you in the wrong direction. The overwork is taking you in the wrong direction. Or constantly worrying about money is taking you in the wrong direction. Or constantly worrying about your job and if you're doing a good job is taking you in the wrong direction. Things like that. So you do have to go within to get the guidance, and the clarity will come to help you from this place. Okay, so now I'm done. Thanks, you guys. Take good care. Bye.